Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Friday, March 9th, 2012. Let's get right into the charts here. We'll start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that they are trading higher by about 50 cents at the moment, right to around the 1367 level. So again, futures are very flat this morning. Everyone is awaiting the U.S. non-farm payroll report. That will be released in about 8 minutes at 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. So everybody's on waiting to hear what that report has to say. But nonetheless, futures are starting to tick up just a little bit. I don't think it's much of a big deal. I think it's just a little bit of jockeying for position by the institutional traders here, and that's really all I'm seeing. So once again, we do have that big report everybody's looking for. We'll see if it does move the markets. I think the expectations are for 210,000 new non-farm payrolls to be reported, new jobs added, and we'll see how that plays out. Once again, the whisper number is much higher. I believe some people are expecting 285,000 jobs to be added. So we'll see what happens, how it plays out, and that's all that we care about. We don't even care about the number, nor do we really believe it. But what you care about is the reaction in the market. Does the market react positive and go higher? Does the market react negative and go lower? I think that's most important, and as a trader, that's what you really care about. This morning, you do have a nice little pop in the U.S. dollar index, but really it's having no effect on the market whatsoever this morning ahead of this non-farm payroll report. But the dollar has made a nice little pop higher. Yesterday, the dollar was clobbered to the downside. Today, making a nice little pop higher and really having no effect as of yet. So we'll see how the market plays out. A lot of times, especially on a Friday, when the volume gets light and there's big economic news, it will overshadow the dollar. So sometimes the inverse relationship between the U.S. dollar index and the stock market will not always be intact, especially on a time where we get this big economic news. Alrighty, let's take a look at a few other things that are out there this morning, and then we'll go back to the job number right at 8:30 a.m. First of all, we have gold trading up about $1, right to around the 1700 level. Oil is also trading up by, I believe, 32 cents right now, just underneath $107 a barrel. We'll take a look at the GLD this morning. You'll see it's pretty much flat. Really, no big change there. But the higher dollar normally will affect that. So again, gold is hanging in there this morning pretty well. Oil is hanging in there pretty well, having no effect by the dollar. But usually, a stronger dollar will push oil and gold down. A weaker dollar obviously will help oil and gold to inflate higher. So that's what you have to watch for. But right now, ahead of the job news, doesn't seem like the market is doing much of anything at this moment. Now, some news to report out of Europe. It looks like Greece, the Greek deal is done. That swap deal is done. It looks like Greek bondholders are going to take a 74% haircut. And right now, the European markets are really not doing much. They're basically flat at the moment. They look like they're on pause for the U.S. job number as well. So again, not much out of Europe, but nonetheless, looks like the Greek bond debt swap deal is okay at the moment, and we'll see how the market reacts in the next couple of days. Asia last night was very strong. You had the Nikkei was the big winner, up 1.65%. The Shanghai, even though China reported some slowing, some data showing that their CPI was lower. China still was up 20 points. That's about 0.8%. So decent little move there. Let's get into some stocks as we're 4 minutes away from the job number. First stock I want to talk about is Texas Instruments. Stock reported that they are guiding lower for 2012, and really not a big hit. Stock closed yesterday at I believe $32.60. It's trading at 32 bucks, so down a little bit ahead of the opening bell. I'm not seeing anything great there. Stock still has a ton of support around 31, so watch the 31 level. There should be still a lot of support there. Another chip maker, Altera, reported guided lower as well. Stock's really not being affected. It looks like it's been beaten down already. I think a lot of that news is baked into the cake already. So I wouldn't look for anything on Altera here. But really not really dropping much after guiding lower for 2012. Let's take a look at the big news last night with Starbucks. They're going to move into the Green Mountain business. They're going to start creating their own little K-Cups. This stock has short-term upside to around 52.75. maybe 53 bucks. I would watch 52.75. I have a hard time seeing Starbucks really get through that level convincingly. Let's take a look at GMCR, which is Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. This is the company that makes those little K-cups that go into the coffee machines. Stock is getting hit pretty hard. Here are the support levels I have for this name, though. Right now, you're going to look at $53, and it looks like 53.50, 53.70. That's pretty good support. There's also a little bit more support around 51.60. Keep that on watch. 47.40, and then ultimately down to around the $40 level, maybe 39.50 level. But this stock is getting hit a little bit this morning. It right now is trading down around 53.50, but a lot of support in this area. I think there's a lot of support in this area, and we'll see if the chart can get any kind of a bounce there. But also watch the 51.60 level. Again, it's big news out there, so you never know what can happen, but I think these are pretty decent support levels right now. And the chart has been, the only negative really outside for looking for a bounce right here, it does look like a bounce candidate, but the only negative is that it was coming out of a basing pattern, and that's a failure. So sometimes that could trade a little bit lower, but those are going to still be some short-term support levels intraday. Let's take a look at Molycorp. I did see this one was trading higher this morning. Decent little pop on Molycorp. Stock is trading up. Again, $30.40 is really all I see in this stock on the upside. I'm not even sure if it gets there, but if it does, that will hit a wall of resistance right around that level. Right now, Molycorp is trading up a little bit to $27.62. It closed at $26 yesterday. So a decent little pop this morning on Molycorp. Again, if the dollar moves lower, Molycorp could move higher. Watch the big level, though, $30.40. Like I said, I don't even think it gets there today. But hey, you never know. If it does get there, that's where, if you own it, that's where you get out, or you start to trail, you stop. And if you don't own it and you want to get it, try a short, that's probably the spot. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing right here, stock-wise. I'm going to flip back to the S&P because we're going to have that job number out momentarily. Right now, the futures are trading higher by, I believe, actually 1 point now. So they're trading up by 1 point. And we'll see how this market plays out once this number is released. It should be out momentarily. We'll see what they say. Again, it's always fun to watch how this thing spikes around, how this thing will move in rapid fashion one way or the other. Again, can't make too much out of it, but there it is. Market's getting a big spike. We'll see what the actual number is. Looks like the number is out right now. All right, non-farm payroll report up 227,000. So February non-farm payroll up 227,000. Decent little pop for the markets. Decent little pop for the markets. But notice the dollar is also surging. So that's positive news for the dollar, and that's capping the stock market from going higher. But on this day, they can both actually trade higher. The dollar and the market can actually trade higher. But that's what we're looking at right now. A little pop coming into the S&P 500. And it looks like 227,000 non-farm payroll non-farm payroll jobs added to the economy in February. So again, watch this how it trades. Right now, we did spike all the way above 1372, and we'll see if the market goes a little bit higher or where it trades from here. But once again, it is a Friday. Volume will be very, very light. I don't see anything really all that negative for the markets. Should hold up throughout the day. That's at least what I have penciled in, if not trade up a little bit. So we'll leave it at that. I want to wish you all a great weekend, and I will see you back on the charts on Monday. Take care, everybody.